Oh, I didn't see you guys there. I'm just casually hanging out with my fire engine. So, as I'm next door to Dupes and I'm in the shed, that must mean it's time for our monthly update on just how badly everything is going with our combined fleet of vehicles, which actually now, I think, totals between the entire team something ridiculous that over 30 vehicles, which, to quote Morgan, means that one of us has a serious problem. So with that, welcome to LMM, and of course it is now time for What's Broken Now. By now, I expect our regular viewers will have seen the series Reach for the Sky and After Sky, and if you haven't, I recommend checking it out. It's an adventure starring myself, Matt and Morgan as we take our daily drivers up to Scotland. And as you can imagine, absolutely nothing went wrong, and we will regard it as being a monumental success, which would be lying to both you and ourselves. The trip was a disaster, totaling, I believe, 7 breakdowns, 1 car coming home on a lorry, and several calls out to the AA. And so I expect most of you are wondering, well, what happened? Well, the first casualty, Morgan and his BMW. Well, that got back on the back of a lorry, and Morgan set about trying to fix the stricken Beamer.
So before you get to the actual cooling system, to get better access, you need to remove the intake. Now we've got better access, we can start taking out the expansion tank. With the fan removed, I could then access the thermostat and the pipes that go to it. Here I'm removing the accessories belt so we can get to the water pump. With all the old cooling parts removed, I could then move on to fitting the new parts, and I started with the radiator. Now I'm fitting the lower radiator hose, which was quite stiff to put on, so I lubricated it with a bit of engine coolant so it would slide on a bit easier. This is the part which I failed to get to fit in Scotland because the part was so badly made. But now the part goes together, the expansion tank goes together with the radiator bracket like a charm. And the expansion tank goes in. Now I can install the accessories belts again. And last but not least, the radiator fan goes back in. Now it's time to top it up with coolant so we can get the first start up. Everything seemed to be working fine, all seemed to be rosy. I let the car heat up on the driveway and all looked well. So I took it out for a short drive, but when I got back I noticed a big trail of water on the road, and I discovered I hadn't quite fitted the lower radiator hose on properly. It was an absolute bugger, and I had to use all my strength just to get it to slide on as to where it needed to be. So I managed to get the lower radiator hose back on properly. I filled up with coolant, ran the car again, and I haven't had any leaks since.
The sad fact of this is, before me and Matt got back home, because we were filming some other things that's going to be coming up on the channel later, Morgan had fixed the BMW and had it back at full strength, which was very annoying for us. But what about the 106, the undisputed champion and the best car to take to Skye? Well, I got home in the early hours of the morning with a car that had been, well, slightly unhappy. I had a couple of blips on the way home. 300 miles to go to home, 5 hours, 16 minutes.
This car's going to need so much trash taken out of it when I get back home. I think there's about like 4 Volvic bottles, 6 Lucasades, half a dozen cans and like 6 coffee cups in here.
That sounds pretty good. I hate it. Oh, I've got back seats full of rubbish as well. It's bad. That's right, my dears. You just stand in the middle of the road. I've lost the 106. I've lost it.
Wait, what?
106 is just not there. I've just... Hold on. What happened there, mate? I lost everything. I lost power. Engine revs were dropping. I was losing the dash.
I think you flooded unshodded it, I had a massive cloud of smoke out your exhaust and it smelled very, very, very fuely.
Assume that was the case. I mean, she's okay now, so yeah, no, it's really weird because I was losing the dash. That was what was really confusing me. I was like, because yeah, I'm used to it just coughing down occasionally when we start, but yeah, losing the dash was weird. Well, as you might be able to see, we failed in our challenge in getting home before it got light. It is definitely morning, so that part of the challenge has failed. However, 2,404 miles down, the little 106 has made itself home. I could not be more proud of my little car. She is an absolute trooper. I am just absolutely flabbergasted. There was a moment when we were in the Mackies the other night, I thought there was not a chance in hell that she'd get home. But she's done it. All on her own. She's made it all the way from Scotland back to Suffolk.
Yes, indeed, the car made it. A 2,500 mile road trip, and the little car made it home under its own steam, just about. And as it was working, and I didn't have anything else apart from this thing to drive around on a daily basis, I kept using it. I kept chucking water into it, and it sometimes used water, and sometimes didn't, which was very confusing. I went and shot a railway video, which was about a 4-hour drive away on the journey, used nothing while I was there, used nothing. When I came home again, used nothing, left the car for 2 days, no water. I've got no idea. So we decided that logically, the only thing it could possibly be is a head gasket. So we fired it up to find out what would happen and to put the tester on it. If it goes yellow, then there's a problem. The tests were inconclusive. The car didn't seem to fail the test, but I knew when it had a head gasket done before, it took a very long time for the reader to change colour. So I'm not really sure in that regard. But whilst we were waiting, the pipe that was on its way out went. I'd driven the car around for about 2 weeks after at this point, and the pipe just ruptured again. So it was park it up in the shed and order some new parts. And of course, when the new parts turned up, we decided it would be easier to take the carburettor off and the inlet manifold off in order to get to it. And at this point, I'd like to just say that the guy who fixed it on Skye was some kind of wizard, because there is no way that any normal human being could get a hand in there with a knife, cut the broken pipe, splice a new piece of pipe in there, because it was difficult enough to do it when I had everything off. The pipe is underneath the inlet manifold, and you can basically fit a hand in with no dexterity, no movement under there. How he did it, I will never know, but the chap who rescued the car was an absolute legend. So the hose that's failed is way down there somewhere. In fact, it's most normally it's under the manifold. So to get to it, there it is, covered in tape. I'm going to take the manifold off. Maybe I should take some more of these pipes off, because that does not want to come off. It is loose though. So, turned up in a brand new, apparently sealed, although I don't know how many Citroen and Peugeot things seal bags with staples. Meant to be new is a new replacement water pipe to replace this bit that's been bodged, and so I've got to try and work out how to get this union apart, which is probably easier said than done, because it don't seem to move. I'm really hoping these are the right bits to go on.
That's the old one.
Fourth time lucky.
Is this confusing?
Highly. It does look like it's the right gasket, so that's good. Although this one's got a load more gunky stuff on it. Do I need to give... I guess I need to give these a clean off, shouldn't I? Because they are filthy.
That's fine.
Really?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not, is it? I need to sort that.
No, it's not fine. But it's normally fine enough for you.
Sorry, I thought you were going to be here and be helpful for me, but you know, obviously not.
If you look on the inside of your bonnet, you can see how helpful I typically am.
Is it that you? Of course it was you. Who else would it be?
It actually turns.
Well, that's positive.
I'm wondering why I'm doing this when I should be in bed.
Because I really could do with having a working car.
Well,
I mean, if you leave now, I'll just be stranded here without a working car.
then you can get it working.
We'll turn up.
Why do I need to get it working?
Because
You're here anyway. You might as well get it working, get it going.
Thanks, Matt.
You're just speaking like a talking hood at the minute.
Yeah, it is.
Wonderful. Whoever designed the 106 was an idiot.
Yeah, I'd sing the car's praises, but right now, it's twattish.
I'm happy to reach between the intake manifold to do up a single coolant pipe with a Jubilee clip,
Oh yeah.
because the original French clip is broken.
It's not. It's been thrown away by Morgan. As we approach midnight,
It's not.
how would you sum up?
Is it?
How would you sum up the 106 in a in YouTube friendly terms?
Abysmal.
Are you enjoying putting the bolts, which are impossible to get onto, to reattach
No,
my?
I'm really not, actually. Really not. I'm just finger tightening this one because I can't. The ratchet is just not going to go down there.
No, that's the one I actually need done up tight.
That's fine.
No, it's not.
No, that's fine.
What was Pierre?
Only that engine, it's fine.
No, that is important. Was Pierre having an off day when he designed this engine bay?
Pierre was being a beeping beep on this day.
I like how your hands just disappeared right into. I think I've got the plugs back on though. The thing that I'm slightly concerned about is this pipe here. I don't actually remember where it goes.
Oh.
I think it goes on there.
Yeah, that looks.
Oh god, now I've lost it.
Oh, that's broken in the middle.
What? This?
Oh, that's.
No, that slides over there. That's fine. But then I don't remember where that one goes. Oh, I think that goes onto the thing I took off, wherever that's gone. When it was all going so well, and we got the really difficult bolt back on the stud to get the inlet manifold off, Matt said, just double check I've done the bolt on the bottom manifold your side. And I put the socket onto it, and it went dink! And I went, oh, I haven't. And I have! Sheared it off. I don't really know what to do at this stage. I think we're going to put it back together again to see if it leaks, because I really do need a car, and this is a unforeseen
Complication.
Yeah, I can't believe we broke that. I'll just drop it into there, yeah, and just put it in the top of the engine now. Oh god, it's too late at night for this. Let's see if it'll go.
That was a smile.
Well, it runs.
Is it going to leak coolant?
Of course it's going to leak coolant.
I suppose it was already doing that, so it's not got any
we haven't
worse.
lost anything now, it's just... On the plus side, it is back together. So this is possibly an LMM first for Lawrie, that he has personally disassembled a vehicle and then with Matt's help reassembled it, and it runs.
But only runs.
We don't know if it holds water, and we have further broken it. So it's going to have to come apart to the stage it was at in order to fix
The stud.
the stud, which we broke trying to fix it. But with that, new piece of pipe work went on, and the car went back together again. Which means that the mighty 106 is alive and kind of well. It's still drinking water, and that's the big problem here. Is definitely it's still drinking water, and at this point we don't really know where. There are no obvious strips on it, So if you guys have got any suggestions, now's about the time to let us know, because I think it's probably a head gasket again. But as I've said before, the car has done since I did the head gasket before, which was just before we started the channel. The car's only actually been on the road for like less than 6 months, because I've had the NX, I've had MR2s, I've been driving other things around. It's done a very limited mileage, so it seems rather suspect for the head gasket to have failed again. And there's no other signs of it, apart from the noise it makes. Welcome aboard my little Peugeot 106, which once again isn't quite right. And I suspect that it was around about this time last year that I made a similar part of a video, driving on a similar bit of road, talking about a similar issue. And that, of course, is, once again, the exhaust on the 106 is blowing. It's gone in a different place, but as I mentioned before, this car seems to go through a section of exhaust a year. And that's pretty upsetting, mostly because this year I've not really driven it much. I've been driving the NX around since Lemons, and yeah, the 106 hasn't really done as much mileage as I would kind of normally like. But yeah, so as there's currently something else on the ramp at the shed, and this thing's MOT is due in a rather worryingly short amount of time. In fact, I thought the MOT had expired before lockdown, and then we got the 6-month extension during the lockdown thing, which means that I still have an MOT for a week. So I need to go for an MOT. So what's so bad about the exhaust? Well, nothing too bad. It just sounds a bit louder than it should, and it's also doing something which this car shouldn't do, and that's burble and go pop pop pop. Now frankly, I really like that. It makes me feel that it's a happy little car, but I feel that it might not think as much. It doesn't seem to it's not running quite right, and I have a sneaky suspicion that it's due to the lack of back pressure. Now Matt tells me that back pressure, or lack of it, is a myth, which is why race cars have big cannon exhausts, and one of the reasons he has big cannons on his MR2. And on further discussion, back pressure, true, may be a myth, but an engine is designed to have a certain exhaust on it, and if one changes the exhaust of it, you will affect the engine's running. So all these Gary boys who put big cannons on their little 1.4 Ford Focus Fiesta, Fiesta, they're actually harming the efficiency and the way the engine works. So my car sounding like a Gary Boy race car going pop, pop, pop may not be the best thing. So yeah, basically I'm off to the garage I took it to last time to see if they got an exhaust in stock to put back on it. Turns out there is no hole in the exhaust. The guy just went, nope, that's all fine. So something's wrong somewhere with the engine. Not sure what yet, but there is a fault. So yeah, not sure about that. And what about the other car, the mighty MR2, which broke down only 4 times with, well, mostly minor issues that Matt was able to fix at the roadside? Well, Matt continued to use that. Meanwhile, he got the starlet all sorted, and the starlet's been on the road, and then the rear brakes started to bind on the MR2 again, and so it was put in the shed. And it's sat here ever since, because Matt's been busy working on the starlet. Things that kind of concern me are when you're underneath your car with a whole roll of wire.
Why?
Are you tying your exhaust up with wire?
Yes.
Is this how the manufacturer suggests you're...
No, but I don't think what the person who did before... That's a particularly special one. I don't think what the person who did before did it right either.
I mean...
Look, that's fixed.
Fixed is an interesting choice of words.
That's not going to come off.
That, my friend, is... I wonder what the melting point of that wire is, and I wonder how it...
It's steel, so I imagine it's about the same as the exhaust, Lawrie. But, yeah, that considering it was swaying from like there to there before and bumping on everything,
That is, without doubt, the most beautiful bodge I've ever seen.
Shipbox cars require shipbox solutions.
Yes.
Good.
I mean, yeah.
I think I'm just going to remove this.
What is it?
Wiper control.
Don't you need it? Oh, you don't have one, do you? Oh! I hadn't realised that was so tastefully done. That piece of. Well, at least I suppose you might put the reg on now and have it level. That's a lovely. That's everything we do.
Why is it so bad? It only had 3 pieces of tape on it.
Well, I mean, I'm quite amazed it stayed on. What's that?
Oh, that was on there. I just tore it off because it was rattling about. So.
It's clearly... Okay. Should that be plugged into something?
No. Oh, maybe that? No. I'm going to go no.
What's this bracket do?
Nothing.
So why is it there?
Don't know. It's going away.
I mean, it's going away.
In my way, so it's gone.
Where's it?
Don't want you laughing. Emotional moment for me.
Emotional
moment. What time of the month, man?
Leave my heap alone. It's supposed to go on lemons. Unlike some people's vehicles.
That was just that was just a low blow, and that was unnecessary.
Low blow.
I mean, on the other hand, at least I've only bought one Lemons car, unlike Mr. 3 Cars here.
Oh, I only plan to use one of them.
I'm only going to use one.
No, he's going to have 3, going to have them set up at different points on the rally. It'll be like one will get him up to like Yorkshire.
Oh, they use a lot of double. That wasn't 3 trips. That
Oh,
was...
wow. That's not sticky. That's not sticky. None of these are sticky. It's only those 3 bits in the... Not to be outdone, Trev decided it was time to do some work on the Pride, and he'd been attempting to do this on his driveway and got rather annoyed at being unable to sort the exhaust blow on the Pride. So he decided it was time to bring it up to the shed, put it onto the ramp, and use the tools here.
Well, it's taken the nut off because it doesn't exist anymore. Well, it doesn't exist. The nut is gone. Morgan, come on. It's just disappeared. It's not in the shaft. In this car. That's good. Yeah. That's just spin that off.
It's not feeling good shit.
No, yeah. Yeah, I felt it. That was really good. Yeah, give me a nice take off.
If he's going to take it off, what size is it? 50? Here he comes! Useless meeting.
I'll just cut it.
This is going to go for it.
You guys have spent so long doing this.
I know, I wanted to do it today, mate.
Has it got to get past here?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, it's that same part on most cars where it won't go around the base.
It should do.
Please don't cut through the engine.
You are so unbelievably lucky, Jippo. It's just...
What? How else do you get an exhaust off?
The thing which went on here was a lack of communication between Trev and us. Because when Trevor said, I'm going to bring the Pride up and take the exhaust off because it's got a blow, we all assumed, and here's the problem, we assumed that what he meant was, I'm going to put the new exhaust that I've purchased onto it. No. That was not the case.
Why is there always someone here when you need to?
Oh dear.
No, no, no! Oh no! I'm not even doing 15 miles an hour! Oh no!
You didn't think this through, did you?
Oh, I didn't think it was going to be this bad! No, that's even worse. I don't know what's better. Nothing is good! There is no good gear. I don't know if faster is better or slower. Oh, it's so loud! What if I put the window up? Is that just... Can I live in ignorance? No, it helps nothing. That's a bit better. No, we're doing 30 mile an hour! This is like normal. I'm resting my foot. I'm not like revving the tits. Oh, you muppet! You absolute... I sound like I'm at Vauxhall Stadium.
That's better.
Yeah, if I just like out here,
Then it's merely acceptable.
this is 40. Right, so 40, and I can't slow down.
I am so deeply unimpressed with this. Oh Jesus!
Trying to make us, you know, like when you're trying to come into your parents' house and you're trying to make no noise, and you guarantee you're gonna trip over the cat, fall into the cupboard, and make the most noise. That's how I feel right now. I don't want to be making noise.
I don't want to be in the car. That's how bad it is. I just don't want to be here right now. I went for a ride in this car with Trev after we took the exhaust off. And I want you to know, guys, from my very eclectic fleet of vehicles and the problems that I have never felt shame like I felt there. That was terrible. Absolute. It's not even a fun noise. It was a... Oh, I don't want to deal with this noise. Oh God, everybody's looking. It was terrible. So that was good fun. Which just brings us up to another problem. More recently, the Micra has developed a fault. The Micra has died. And that is a problem. It turns out that the CVT gearbox that Micras have are only good for 60,000 miles. And Trevor's is now at 59,000. And so it now makes this absolutely horrendous noise at just random intervals where everybody looks and you feel the whole car bogging down. So that meant that it was time for Trevor to find a new vehicle. So Trev's just phoned and he's bought a new car without telling us. So we're now desperately trying to flick through Auto Trader to try and work
We
out.
know how much he spent.
And we know it was all Auto Trader.
Maybe it's an ST180 Mondeo.
Oh, he wouldn't. He does like odd Mondeos.
Those are really good cars.
He likes the old Mondeo. It does have an aftermarket exhaust on it.
I think it might be a Mondeo.
Mondeo.
ST220 or ST180.
Possibly. Yeah.
Because they have single X exhaust on one side.
And it does, yes. All Trev's given us is a picture of the aftermarket
I was
exhaust.
going to say, do we have a photo of this exhaust?
Yeah.
We can get it up for you guys.
I don't know if he sent it to me or he sent it to you.
Is it in Hub Talk or?
I think it's a Mondeo ST220 or ST180.
Have we found anything?
I sent him an ST180 the other day.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's all we have. He sent us a picture of that, and that's the hint. There's a car. There's a car. Oh, that is the... Oh. What? Right. Oh, you got a Jag!
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, boy!
Oh, that's good.
Oh!
He did get Mondeo.
Oh, you got it!
That looks really nice.
Trevor!
Trev, we were saying we thought you might have got a Mondeo. You did.
He's got a Mondeo. You bought an X-Type.
But I got the fancy Mondeo.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel great.
It's
I've
actually-
only had it for
That
what, 2
looks
hours.
You've suddenly got a lot more sex appeal now you drive a Jaguar.
Really?
It's a manual.
It is a
It's a manual?
It's not an auto.
Oh, wow.
2.5 litre V6.
This looks proper tidy.
Oh.
Is it tight?
Yeah.
You do need to do a touch up here. It doesn't. It's not a lot,
Yeah.
but
There's a couple of little.
that's really right.
There's a
free
dent.
for
There's a
Jaguar.
dent in the door. You can just see in the light there.
Yeah. It's just had a couple of.
God, that is lovely, Trev.
Trev, you don't. I thought about why. I've always wanted the S type. That's
Yeah,
what.
that makes
And,
more
but they rot. They rot to absolute hell.
That looks.
This is a lovely looking Mondeo.
Thank you. I'll get my Ford badge.
Please do.
So
You
yeah,
can.
It's the 2.5
You can
litre V6.
You've owned a V6 as well. Welcome to the club of V6 owners. Only yours works. Gas struts.
Oh, gas struts.
Oh,
Jag.
it says it's a V6.
It says it's a V6.
Do you feel like manly now?
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very comfortable on the road. A lot more than the Micro is.
Really? Why are you surprised?
I mean, the Micro went loads of places and it did do well, but it is dying. Huh?
Oh, maybe it is factory.
That looks like factory.
It's just
You have to remember who built this.
It is a Ford.
It is. Yeah, it's Jaguar Land Rover when it was under their Ford ownership
It's
or
a-
partnership.
I think you've done well.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Wait. What did Morgan say?
You've done well, mate.
See, I told you Morgan would appreciate it. Actually, I kind of bought it and I thought, I bought a car that you've liked in the past and I bought a car that Matt's liked in the
Yeah.
past.
To be fair-
But I haven't ever bought a car that Morgan's liked in the past. So let's buy a car that Morgan...
I think we all like.
To be fair, the X-Type's a nice little car.
I wouldn't own one, but yeah, it's not.
Yeah, but the thing is I
For
want
what you want it to do, yeah.
yeah, long distance journeys in comfort.
Manual.
It's
Manual
sort of
is
like
good.
The Jag version of my car, really.
What? Being a V6, what kind of horrific MPG is it going to return?
Not that bad.
29 is its current average on
That's
its trip.
that's good.
It's a Mondeo. It does Mondeo.
It's a Mondeo. It's a Mondeo, but it's got more sex appeal.
Get in the boot.
How many bodies can you fit in
You
there?
have to push on the little Jaguar. Oh,
Bloody hell.
Oh wow, Matt, get in.
That's a lot bigger than my boot, absolutely.
hold on. You don't want to dirty your new boot.
It actually doesn't smell. I've actually managed to buy a
No,
car
it
that doesn't smell
smells
for
good in
once.
here. Oh no, you get someone else in here.
Yeah, bye, Matt.
There's little peepholes through here. I can just see light.
Matt, do you want me? Shall I see if I can get in there with you?
No.
There's two
Oh, shut up, let's hear it properly.
I quite like it.
You've done well, Trev.
That sounds really nice.
I don't believe it, but you.
Oh,
It does a little poppy.
Oh, so I didn't.
Trev,
Yeah.
come here with a camera.
Oh yeah. Morgan's found the one thing that is a slight.
Of course it has.
The engine management light.
It's got the yellow lights on. Of
I'm
course it
just
has.
gonna take it out. It doesn't affect the way it drives.
I reckon it might be
Morgan.
over-fueling, which is why it's popping.
Maybe, I think so too, Sensor. He says that he didn't have it when it came in, and probably is one of those that you can just
Oh, was
buy
it part exchange for him?
It was part exchange, that's why it's so cheap.
Yeah.
Just got it off the block.
Can I just point out something that I think you've done, which I don't think any of us have ever done? You've bought a car that all three of us actually approve of. You have universal acclaim car.
Didn't everyone approve of my 106?
No.
You didn't approve of your 106. And the rest of us liked it. You
When I
didn't.
bought it, yeah, I did.
Yeah. No, I think the 106 was quite a good one. But this is cool.
So
Nice.
I didn't realise it had the sports tips until I brought it back from the test drive. 'Cause I was like, wow, it sounds fruity,
Sounds really
but
nice, yeah.
very nice. And I walked around the back and I was like, it's got baller tips on it. So
Good show. Yeah, good show. Good show. We were thinking you were going to buy something proper shod. This is all
I
right.
thought I'd do something nice for myself. Get something nice. I have still got the original tape deck in there as well.
Oh, nice. Oh, yes, you have.
Just leave it.
Look at this. Look at this finger gap.
Oh, that's quite bad. That is quite bad. What the other thing that actually makes me sums up you more than anything else in this world is new Jag for you, KFC.
I love it. It's already
We had
got
to christen it.
KFC in it.
And all the meals you could have had in a Jag.
Has it got cruise
KFC.
control on it?
It
Yeah,
does.
of
I
course
can't
it
work
does.
out how to set it yet.
Oh.
When you say you can't work out how to set it, do you
No,
mean
'cause
it
if
doesn't
it's
work?
broken- no,
Yeah,
no, there's
it's
an
broken.
on-off
It doesn't
switch
work,
there, but
and it doesn't work.
No, it does work.
It's a good thing you're really good at electrics.
You're going to get a lot better at electrics.
Guess what? Well, apparently it's had its computer already, the ECU already replaced or whatever by the previous owner.
Oh, brilliant.
But yeah, I enjoy it, and it's got AC, a requirement control that actually works.
Lovely.
For the time being, I give it a week.
It smells fresh as well.
I like how Matt's been the only one that's not said anything to me yet. You're the one. You're just jealous.
I am jealous because it's a working car. That's why I'm jealous, because you have something. You can drive home tonight, whereas I can't. So yes, I am mean because I'm jealous. Actually, mate, it's to be fair, proper smart.
But Trev, what about the micro?
Is the micro dead?
And the Micro is very much dead. Got leaky seats.
They will break.
I like how he's already distracted from the death of the micro.
Yeah.
We already knew it was going to happen.
You don't care, do you?
I do care.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
But we knew it was going to happen, yeah.
Do you remember when I looked into it and I told people that I had the CVT and they said that CVTs die at
After
about
6
60,000? Guess what it's reading on the
59.9.
59,500.
Morgan wants to drive around a car park until it explodes.
Well, we just need to do 500 miles around a car park and then it would just go bang.
Poor CVT.
Poor micro. But it's kind of a dead end.
This is a hell of an upgrade as well.
Yeah.
So Trev's done all right out of this. He's got himself quite a nice car, which means that currently everybody has got something that works. Me, less so. So what about everything else in here? Well, the NX, the gearbox is still away being worked on, mainly because I don't know where it is, and I'm waiting on Ash to go pick it up when he has a free moment. But he has been frantically busy with a new company working and hasn't been here since. So at some point, I'm hoping he's going to pick up the gearbox, because I don't know where it's gone, and that's a problem for a rare car like that. But in his free time, Ash has been working on the steering rams on the Viking, so that hopefully when we put them back on, they won't leave a trail, well, a river of hydraulic steering oil behind them, which will make it a bit easier to get the thing back on the road. So it's nice that that is slowly progressing. And hopefully we're going to get Martin back up at some point soon to carry on welding the cab back up, and things will start to progress again there. Apart from that, there's not really much progress on anything else in here. We've got a couple of other side projects we're working on at the moment, which will become apparent in time. They've eaten up more time than they should have. But basically speaking, I've not done anything to the tractor. That's still in a state of half paint, and I need to do more than that. But the weather, as you can see from my face in front of it, there's steam coming out. It's starting to get quite cold, which is not really the ideal weather for painting anymore. So that's probably going to now wait for spring. And as for Jeb and Humpty sat in the tent outside, well, they're there. There's not much going to happen with them. I might go and try and start Humpty in the not too distant future and see if it still wants to fire up after several months now of sitting there. Coming back to in here, well, there's not really any progress to report on anything. Apart from the Fiat and my MR2. Me and Morgan were having a conversation, and we've decided that it's now time to reach out to you guys. Morgan's good shell for his Lemons car needs some paint. And so we've been looking around, but we haven't really found anybody who's kind of jumped out at us with a half decent price or anything like that. So if you guys know anybody who can spray cars, or you can spray cars yourself and you want to get in contact, then drop us a line and leave it in the comments below. We'd love to know where we could send the car off and get it painted, because Morgan insists that despite the fact he's not checked the engine or the gearbox, paint is the next stage on the Fiat. And that made me think, there are a lot of vehicles in the shed, and we are pretty bad at getting on with them. And having been the main editor on the After Skye series, I realised how much I missed my MR2. And so if there's anybody out there that wants to take on and do some work on my 2, I'd be really interested in talking to you. I need the rear arches to be taken care of, the front bumper, and really the car needs respray. And there is, of course, the issue of the exhaust manifold that's blowing. So if you do know anybody, drop it in the comments below, or drop us an email, and, well, let's start this rolling, because I want the car back. And so I think it's time to send it off to somebody else, because clearly we've got enough here to keep us busy at the moment. Apart from that, there's no further update on the Lotus, the Supra, or, of course, my little Morris. These are all things that are very much taking a back burner at the moment, whilst we really want to try and get some stuff back together again. Now it's kind of getting silly. There are a lot of things in bits in the shed, and we really want to start making progress with them. And it's going to happen. We've got plans now, and things are moving forward in a good way. But obviously, Time, money and everything is one of those things that always holds us up. And of course, we can't do an episode of What's Broken Now without talking about the big red thing behind me. Now, when I was driving the 106 back from Scotland, I mentioned that if the 106 does fail, this would be my sole working vehicle. And I said that with a certain amount of trepidation, because if I don't start it, it can't be broken. And so it's not actually been fired up since we came back from Skye. And so I thought it was now time to give it a start and see what happens if we fire it up for the first time in months and find out if I've got 1.5 working vehicles or just half a working vehicle. Poor old girl. This may be the best thing I've ever owned. I like this thing. So with that, guys, fire engine still works. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of What's Broken Now. And of course, please, if you haven't already, give us a like, maybe subscribe and follow what we get up to on the channel. And if you've enjoyed this and you want to know a bit more about the Skye trip, then the link to the first of our adventure, well, that's just over there. And of course, click down there for the last What's Broken Now. Find out what happened last time. Thanks for watching, guys. I love this truck. I really do love this truck. Good girl. Good girl. Fucking beauty.